years ago, my mother-in-law, they have a picture down there in the post office when she played basketball. And then they got decided it was too hard on girls, and they wouldn't let them play for long years. I couldn't even remember them playing. So when Mr. Fain, which was her uncle, he was superintendent or principal there, wasn't he? And so anyway, we hung on his coattails. I was in 9th grade till he let us play. But we knew he wasn't. They were playing with, now they play with long short, the long shorts down their knees. They were wearing them pretty short then. But Mr. Fain wasn't about to let us wear those. So we made our shorts. And then we asked him how he liked them, and he said, well, they look better than some of them. That's all he said about it. But we played basketball on cement floor because that's what was in the gym. We had to take it like it was, The gym had been started when the house burnt, and the NYA boys were building it, and they'd had it more than half done, I'd say, and so they finished it, and then we had some of us sat on the bleachers. We had classes on the bleachers, and under the bleachers we had typing room was under the bleachers, and we did everything like that, and so that's where we played basketball, on that cement. And we could beat when they came to play us, Bergman especially, because they were scared. Then maybe we'd lose when we went to play them then. That was something I thought of.
Well, we weren't allowed to have tournaments at Lead Hill because of the concrete floor. And I said, I think that's what's wrong with my knees today. Too many years on that concrete floor.
I saw Jewel one night, I think it was doing a Matlock, that she had the ball in her hand and Jewel held on to it, and Jewel went backwards, went down on that concrete to her sister. And she jumped up. Somebody asked her if she's hurt. Nope. Wait a minute. Well, we went to school in the church houses. Did you tell that?
No.
Okay.
I went in the Christian church.
Huh?
I went in the Christian church the remainder of that year.
Yeah, we went some right down below us there in the assembly. God right down, joined practically to the schoolyard there, and we went, different ones for different classes or whatever. We went all over town practically, and did that. But I remember, I remember the day the schoolhouse burned. Daddy had bought some land up there on the hill there that we'd been up there to see about it. We come down the hill in this T-model, and we could see this fire. So we went on down there, and they were busy carrying out baskets of apples and stuff like that out of the basement, trying to save what they could. Because we had a lunchroom in the basement at that time, and that's about all they got to save was stuff like that. But, Judge Logan, he put this book out, and it's got a picture of the Lead Hill School. My dad said he went there. He said, I remember having to pay for a window that I broke with a ball, and it was 2-story, maybe even 3. It's a real tall building. And then they built ours, and it was a model. People came from other schools to come and see it because it was really a beautiful school. See, we still have the porch there.
Right.
Okay, they tried to bulldoze it down, and it's all scarred up all over. And they didn't get it done. And we used to line up down here at the front, and we do our exercises before we come in. We lined up the grade, and somebody in front of us would do that and bounce balls off of these things. We wasn't all lucky enough to have a ball, but we'd get out there and catch one for the ones that did bounce them off to us. And I have when they took the curtains down, they were velvet that went across the stage. And somebody thought of me and sent me one, and they had cut it out into little Christmas stockings. Said they thought I'd like to have one, and I did. And I don't know who did it, but I was really proud.
I don't remember too much about that old school.
No, that would have been,
Except I remember those steam radiators.
Yeah, I do too, but the
sometimes we'd hang our coats over them if they got damp.
The boys would go out and kill a skunk, and then they'd stand in there to get us to, get the girls would all carry on and the teacher would make them get away from there. Lorraine Gann, and a few of them that liked hunt at night, so they would do it.
And the only whipping I ever got when I was in school was in the 1st grade.
Me too.
Bernice Curtis was the teacher.
Really?
And Linwood Boone and I were, I guess, kind of spatting back and forth. So she sent us back to what we call the cloakroom, where you kept your coats and your lunch buckets. And well, it was dark back there and couldn't anybody see us. And we really got slugging it out. So she took us up in front of the whole class and whipped us. That's the only time I ever got a whipping in school.
June and Janelle, your cousin, they were best friends, but they fought all the time. And they went out in the hallway, there in that gym, you know, we was going to school in. And they were out there just fighting tooth and nail out there over something one day. And Mr. Payne come out and called them. And he said, what you two need is a bottle. You're acting like babies, that's what you need. He didn't whip them, and they didn't know why he didn't. They didn't know why he didn't whip them. But of course they quit fighting when he walked up.